Hey guys, we're here at Naples Nationals Golf Club with my good friend and head golf professional, Jake Pleczkowski. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
We're gonna do a little 3-part series with maybe a bonus at the end, maybe a 4-part, probably a 3. We're gonna be discussing different shots. It gets really windy, greens are firm, really fast. The fastest greens I've ever putted on. I played some big events and these are the fastest greens I've ever putted on. We've got a downwind shot ahead of us. It's about 175 yards, but actually I'm gonna check really quick to get 176 yards on the dot. And we're just gonna discuss a little bit about the mindset, what club, what you're looking at, what you're thinking about. What's the first thing you think about when you have a downwind shot here at Naples National? And the 9th hole, to be specific. So this is a tough shot.
Yeah, so first and foremost, what's the number to carry the water? Secondly, where's the miss? So today we have a little bit of a back pin, so a little long isn't really that bad because we're chipping back into the wind today.
Yep.
But if this was a into the wind shot, long would be toast with no green to work with. So
right,
just kind of managing how far this ball is going to carry if you do strike it pure.
Okay.
And then what club selection from there gets us to the kind of the biggest part of the green.
Okay. So you're thinking what covers the water? There's a little bit of water front left. And what would you guess covers the water? What's a comfortable carry, not thinking about the wind?
150.
Okay, 50.
Yeah.
So you're thinking downwind. So anything that covers 150 yards. What club are you thinking here?
So 176 is usually a 7-iron for me.
Okay.
But we're downwind probably 15, so that's 60. So I'd probably hit a little 8.
Little 8. All right. Well, I think I would go big 8 for me. Jake gets it farther than I do, but
might be the loss.
I'm thinking big 8. I'm thinking where's the miss? Do I want to go long? A little long is okay. So if you're so concerned about long, you have to think about, Jake brought up a great point. If you go long on this hole and you're going into the wind, it's not that hard. If you go long on this hole and you're going down or into the wind, it's hard if you go long.
Yeah. Because
your chip coming back is downwind.
Downwind short side.
And it's so, the greens are so fast out here, that makes a big difference. A little bit of breeze,
huge. That
ball's going. So, all right, why don't you lead us off? Let's see what you got.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
I also tend not to try to hit this straight up to the moon, just in case it gets knocked down by the wind. So
okay.
Just kind of a regular shot, nothing special.
Sure.
Just a little 8-iron here.
All right. Swing. Yeah, great play.
Thanks.
And it just, landed, I'm going to say landed good 15 yards short, couple bounces, might have trickled over the back, but that's exactly what you described. You're okay.
Yeah.
Kind of being back there.
You don't want to beg this thing to cover the water and then leave yourself a 50-footer up the hill. You want to give yourself a good chance for birdie, and if you hit it close, great. If not, you're chipping back into the wind.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit one.
Yeah.
I think...
Smoothie 8.
I think so.
There's a lot of wind up there.
Go with an 8. Let's see. I really feel comfortable.
That's good. Yeah, great kick.
I hit it right on the number.
Possible too.
I mean, that ball landed 55 maybe. And it's hard because where that ball landed and where the pin is, it's a 20-yard difference. And I think one of the biggest mistakes is you're hitting such a shorter club from this distance going downwind, and you just have to trust it and make your swing. You don't have to hit it all the way back there.
Yeah.
I think that's where amateurs make a mistake of getting after a shot, and they swing too hard, and it's like, no.
Driving range shot.
You just gotta trust that it'll go, and if it comes up a little short, it's not the end of the world. If it goes long, I think most of the time, you don't trust it, you give it a little extra, and then that's when the problem happens.
Yeah, and also another good point is when you're downwind, the ball won't curve quite as much.
Right.
The side spin is really getting taken off by just how strong downwind. So that's, don't think that this thing's going to curve a ton. Just go ahead and trust your targets, make a regular driving range swing, and then obviously you'll see on our next video, into the wind is a little bit different.
Yeah, well, let's go hit one into the wind.
Cool.
So we just got done hitting a 175-yard shot straight downwind. You hit an 8-iron, I hit an 8-iron. We had some thoughts. We didn't really change our swing much. Talked about trajectory, not getting it up so the ball doesn't get pushed down. That's kind of an advanced idea, but talking about that carry number. Now we've got a 175-yard shot. We just checked it. It's 175 on the dot, and it's quite the opposite. It's dead into the wind. And let's just talk about some of the changes.
Yeah.
When I walked out, I brought out my 9, 8, and 9 iron. Is that what you brought out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've got a 4 and 5 iron for this 175-yard shot going into the wind. What are your thoughts? What do you got here? What are your thoughts?
I would definitely say it depends how much into the wind it is, because a lot of times just hitting an extra club and just swinging your swing is plenty to get the ball up around the hole, on the green, around the green in a good spot, versus manufacturing the swing that you don't really use that often for a shot that's maybe 10 yards into the wind. This one obviously a little bit more. So we will, but just remember that if it's 10 miles an hour, it's 10 yards, grab your extra club and do what we just did downwind in the opposite way. Just swing a regular shot. But
so like when I'm thinking into the wind and it's blowing harder than 10 out here, Jake makes it seem like it's not blowing very hard, but it's blowing pretty hard. I've got my 4 and 5 iron. And I make so many changes going into the wind, especially when this is more than a breeze.
Yeah.
I tend to choke down, I tend to put the ball back, and I exclusively play a draw. Exclusively. Takes the wind out. I don't have to worry about the ball rising. So instead of like trying to hit it low, I try to draw the ball more and actually gets the ball a little bit lower.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing is now you got to be a little bit more careful going into the wind because the ball will curve more.
Yeah, for sure. Like we talked about before, the wind will own a shot that has any sort of extra to it. Extra curve, extra backspin, extra height.
Sure.
Any of that funny stuff, it gets shown into the wind, versus downwind you can get away with some stuff.
Right. But at the same time, I think with the same amount of wind, a draw is affected less than a fade.
Yeah, for sure.
Into the wind. I think if you cut it a little and it rises into the wind, I mean that ball can get blown away. But it's not equal when you draw the ball. So, and that's just because like the spin increases when you cut it, right? And it decreases when you hook it. So
for sure.
Yeah, let's see you hit one. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, so I don't really get too complicated on these because we hit them so often. You don't want to just, like I said, make this special swing when we could just be doing something pretty easy. So I have my hands a little forward and I try to just shorten my follow through and make sure that I'm not really loose with that follow through. Close the face and see it go left when I'm trying to control a draw.
Right.
Just put my hands forward a little bit like that.
Ooh, I like that.
And then just control the length of my follow through.
Nice. Love it. Got
Not
great
bad for me.
Great trajectory. I like the trajectory, and I'm going to make a point here. You hit a 6. I'm going to hit a 5. But the club almost doesn't matter. What matters a lot is the trajectory. When I looked at your trajectory into this wind, it's just ideal.
Yeah.
With this much wind, any good PGA Tour pro, I would say, yeah, that's about how you're going to play.
Window.
Yeah. Height-wise, regardless of where. So we really think about it in terms of height more than club.
Yeah.
If it might be a 4 iron, might be a 5 iron for me. If I was able to get my hands, a little bit more ahead, I might hit a 6. But I'm gonna go with a 5. I'm gonna go with a 5.
It's like watching those guys at Sawgrass. The wind was so strong, it just mattered what kind of flight they were going on.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with the 5.
See it.
Go with the 5.
Very nice.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
So like you know, again, it's not always so much about what club did you hit. It's about, you know, and speaking of Sawgrass, great example. You have different guys hitting different shots into a stiff wind.
Yeah.
But their flights will look the same.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you try to squeeze too much out of a club, you try to lower it too much. For me, I didn't have to lower it that much. I just made a little bit smaller swing, and my follow through was a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
And it kind of does it.
And I think into the wind, all the, especially really good players, if you watched 100 of them hit this shot right here, most of them are trying to leave it in the same area. Whether that's the cuts or the draws, what our differences are in our shots.
Sure.
We all want to leave it, you know, the easy spot to get it up and down if it doesn't work out perfect.
Absolutely. You're
So
definitely, when it's really windy as a good player, and these conversations are so important because, you know, Jake's a accomplished player, plays a lot of golf tournaments, and the way he thinks about the game is very Tour Pro-like. But if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the like button, ring the bell, all that good stuff.